and welcome to the World Battery Metals and Mining News for the 26th of July, 2024. Codelco says output falls 8% in first half of 2024. Chile's Codelco, the world's largest copper producer, reported an 8.4% decline in production for the first half of 2024, totaling 579,785 metric tons, citing operational and weather challenges. The company highlighted an extended truck stoppage following a fatal accident, lower contributions due to a rock burst at El Teniente mine, ramp-up delays for Rajo Inca, and adverse weather conditions as key factors. Despite these setbacks, Codelco's pre-tax profit improved to $653 million, a significant recovery from a prior loss. The company is confident in meeting its 2024 output target of up to 1.39 million tons and aims to increase production to 1.7 million tons by 2030. Additionally, Codelco is advancing state control over the lithium industry, finalizing a deal with SQM for lithium extraction in the Atacama Salt Flat. New Caledonia nickel firm KNS starts layoff procedure. New Caledonian nickel producer Koniambo Nickel SAS, KNS, has initiated a redundancy plan for its 1,200 workers after co-owner Glencore failed to find a buyer for its stake before the end August deadline. KNS halted its operations in March, and while discussions with potential investors continue, no firm offers or funding commitments have been secured. The redundancy plan could result in the layoff of almost all staff after August 31st, except for about 50 essential workers. The broader New Caledonian nickel industry faces significant challenges, worsened by recent territorial unrest, with Eramet's local subsidiary, SLN, also struggling and reliant on government funding to continue operations. Indonesia trying to cut China's stakes in new nickel projects. Indonesia is aiming to reduce Chinese involvement in new nickel projects to meet U.S. government subsidy requirements, the Financial Times reports. Officials are engaging with investors to ensure Chinese companies hold less than a 25% stake in new smelters. Deputy Coordinating Minister for Investment and Mining, Septienhario Seto, confirmed the initiative, but stated there would be no official policy on Chinese shareholdings. As the leading global nickel producer, Indonesia's current Chinese-dominated processing could exclude it from the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act's EV subsidies, which restrict components sourced from entities with significant Chinese ownership. Additionally, Indonesia needs a free trade agreement with the U.S. to qualify for these subsidies, with negotiations ongoing but not yet finalized. Luca Mining completes Mexico gold mine build. Luca Mining has announced the completion of its new Tahuehueto gold mine in Durango, Mexico, which is now its second producing asset in the country. The underground mine, which cost around $30 million to develop, is fully permitted and aims to ramp up its processing capacity to 1,000 tons per day by September 2024. The mine has been operating on a pre-production basis at an average processing rate of 450 tons per day and is expected to achieve commercial output levels of around 800 tons per day soon. Tahuehueto hosts an extensive epithermal gold vein system and has mineral reserves estimated at 3.6 million tons, containing 294,000 ounces of gold and 5.8 million ounces of silver. Along with its existing Campo Morado mine in Guerrero State, Luca Mining plans to produce between 60,000 to 70,000 ounces of gold equivalent in 2024. British Columbia gold miners to resume projects following wildfire. Mining operations in central British Columbia are set to resume after the provincial government lifted an evacuation order caused by wildfires. The order, issued on July 22nd, had impacted Artemis Gold's Blackwater mine and Osisko Development's Caribou Gold project. With the order now lifted, non-essential employees are returning to the sites. The Blackwater mine aims to begin production later this year, while the Caribou project is in the pre-construction phase with pending permits. Both sites reported no damage to their infrastructures and full accessibility to access roads. Following the news, Artemis Gold's stock rose 3.6%, and Osisko Development's stock went up 2.8%. Vale on track to hit top end of iron ore guidance. CEO says Vale's CEO expressed confidence that the company will achieve the upper end of its 2024 iron ore production guidance of 310 to 320 million tons. This optimism follows a robust second quarter where net profit tripled to $2.77 billion, with a 7% increase in iron ore sales, surpassing analysts' expectations. Despite seasonally higher costs in Q2, the company expects to meet its annual cost guidance as production stabilizes and cost efficiencies improve. Adjusted EBITDA came in slightly below expectations at $3.99 billion, and net operating revenue increased by 3% to $9 billion. Vale's shares rose by 0.7%, and it currently holds a market capitalization of $46.6 billion. Indonesia launches new phase of industrial park in bid to lure investors away from China. Indonesian President Joko Widodo has launched the second phase of an industrial park in central Java's Batang, aiming to attract investors seeking to diversify away from China. The park, which already hosts nearly 20 companies, including South Korea's LG Energy Solution and KCC Glass, has seen an investment of 14 trillion rupiah, $860 million, so far, utilizing just 10% of its 4,300 hectares. Jokowi announced the release of an additional 400 hectares for new investors to create more manufacturing jobs, emphasizing the importance of job creation for Indonesians. Companies investing in the park are eligible for tax breaks on machinery imports, and LG Energy Solution is set to start producing cathode for electric vehicle batteries. This is part of a larger plan involving a $2.4 billion factory in Batang and a $3.6 billion battery cell plant in Karawang, West Java. Indigenous groups block Vale's Carahas Railroad in Pará. Indigenous peoples from 3 villages in Pará have blocked the Carahas Railroad, disrupting Vale's transportation of iron ore from its northern system. The Gavio Parketeje community initiated the blockade earlier in the week, which has halted passenger train services used by 1,800 people daily in high season and fuel cargoes essential for southern and southeastern Pará. Vale condemned the blockade as illegal and noted an existing court injunction supporting the continuation of its operations, stressing that it has met all obligations under its agreement with the indigenous community. The Carahas Railroad runs near the Mai Maria indigenous land, with Vale's northern system responsible for producing 150 million tons of iron ore annually. American Eagle takes flight for Faraday Copper. Faraday Copper has announced promising results from ongoing drilling at the American Eagle prospect within its Copper Creek project in Arizona, indicating potential to increase open-pit resources. Recent drillings revealed significant near-surface mineralization, including a notable intersections of 29.08 meters at 0.62% copper and 1.14 grams per ton silver. These findings support the likelihood of resource growth and bolster the project's potential. The company's efforts are focused on testing previously undrilled breccias and expanding the resource. CEO Paul Harbage expressed confidence in the continued success of the drilling program, which has so far completed 32 out of a planned 36-hole program aimed at enhancing resource definition and targeting new areas for exploration. Faraday Copper highlights Copper Creek as one of North America's largest undeveloped copper projects with substantial district-scale potential.